I'm back. I'm back here with Virgil Allen.
What's going on, guys?
Dreadnought, Lawton, Oklahoma. Part of the team that won the Kids World Championships last year. Our first one. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Now we're back here kicking butt. We had technical problems yesterday. Like I said, that was my fault. But now we're back. Man, we're on day 2. How you doing? How's the team doing? Tell me a little bit.
Team's doing great, man. Team's doing great. Yesterday, the kids came out and finished second overall, both gi and kids no gi. Our team took the no gi trophy home. Jedi took the gi trophy home. So the Carlos Machado Association came out, man, and did pretty good. You know,
put this sucker on this side. That way you talk towards it. All right.
You know, and so we did pretty good. That was a good turnout for us. You know, especially us starting out as a small school straight out of Southwest Oklahoma, right outside of Fort Sill. Starting this thing up, it'll be 9 years, January 15th. I think our first tournament with AGF, well, mine, because I started competing first, was 2016 or 2015. And then, yeah, it's been a minute. And that's when we were doing it at the Cox Arena in OKC. Yep, you guys are coming out to Cox. Man, and really started just focusing on doing a lot of my personal jiu-jitsu first before I focused on the program, because there was nothing here. And especially being military, leaving from one state and then coming to this state, doing jiu-jitsu a lot where I was and getting.
How long were you in the military?
I did 18. And then 18. And medically retired.
Yeah, 2 years before you got in trouble in medical.
Medical, bro. My back. But actually, I was about 315, 320.
Oh, wow.
At the biggest, I was about 390.
Whoa.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know that version.
Well, jumping out of airplanes, man, back then, I got hurt, so I couldn't work out like I wanted to. The military pushed on a PT profile, and so... Yeah. And I told them, hey man, I could drop the weight. Let me work out my way. Like let me do it my way. No, you're on a profile. You know how it goes, man. You're military. You're on a profile. You really can't do stuff. So once I got out, I knew I wanted to continue doing jiu-jitsu. I figured I'll stay in Lawton since I had already opened Dreadnought up while I was active duty.
Is Lawton original home for you? Or?
No, Fort Worth, man. I'm from DFW.
Really?
Yeah, man. I'm from
so
DFW.
What made you go to Lawton when you get out of the military? Why Lawton?
Well, I didn't want to go back home, and not for because of family. It's just I would have been. Yeah, that's why I got away. And so getting away from that lifestyle, and when I joined the military, I was able to get away from it, but also learn a set of skills and a lifestyle.
Like people like myself. I joined from Los Angeles, and then you come right back to what you were trying to leave in the first place. Most people either trying to get out of the inner city, Detroit, LA, New York,
or just a bad past, man. Those kids running around doing dumb stuff. Not doing the right stuff, just doing dumb gang shit.
So they didn't want to go back to it.
No, I didn't want to go back to it. And I had a really great career in the military. I was spec ops. So going from streets into
Spec Ops, you was Army
Ranger. Yep.
Nice.
2nd Ranger Battalion. I started out there.
Second is
Fort Lewis, Washington.
Yep.
And that's where I really picked up jiu-jitsu.
So you dealt with the rain a lot.
That wasn't that bad, man.
Really?
It was more like mist. It was never a heavy rain like the South.
Rain,
no, here you get flooded out, man.
Yeah.
Up in Washington State, it's very misty. It's like today. The sun will be out, but it's cold or it's moist. It's not like a downpour. But that's where I started with Marcelo Alonso, man. I started Marcelo Alonso out there in Washington State, out in Seattle.
Nice.
And then was training with him a lot, and boom, September 11th happened. And so it was like, all right, you're out. And so I spent most of my time deploying, coming back, training on deployments, never being able to get promoted, but would always just train. And then around 2015, when everything started to die down, but we were still deploying, I picked it up again back in Alaska under Ryder Spaderfor, who was Chingia, black belt out of California. So I was like, bet, and, trained with them and competed with them, went to Pans, and that's when I started doing AGF tournaments once I got here. Opened up my school because there wasn't really nothing in Lawton. There were people doing stuff, but it wasn't a school. There wasn't a structure.
Dreadnought, now I might not know all the background of that. Is that the character or is that a certain specific?
That's the ship.
The ship of
The naval ship, the old World War II battleship. You know, back then there was a ship called the Dreadnought. It was an unsinkable ship. It had armor all the way around it. So this is the second logo. The original logo.
It's a U.S. ship.
Yeah.
That's some more history I didn't know.
Or you can look up the German rock band Dreadnought. You know, so it kind of worked with what the one of the original guys of the school that we did it together. That he came up with it, and I was like, okay, and we just kept the octopus, but we just modernized and updated it and kept the name. But that was the symbolism behind it. It's an unsinkable ship, having that defense of armor to where you can work your game. And that's it, man, and just been growing ever since. And here we are, 9 years, still going hard at it, still coming up to AGF tournaments, Dallas, Amarillo, San Antonio, and every time we show up somewhere, we're bringing home team trophies. And that's coming from a guy that's not a big name in jiu-jitsu. That's, and nothing against them. It's just the military taught me how to teach. And the military taught me how to train. And the military taught me how to put a team together to come out. That's it.
Taught me how to run this business.
Exactly. And how to come out and put a team together and get people behind you to come out and show up in a good. Look at Triton.
Military.
Yeah. Pizza Marine.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing. So a lot of these guys in the jiu-jitsu community, that was military where we did a lot of combatives and we had to do a lot of that team building and trying to reach from other units and build a combatives team. It's the same stuff we're doing here, and reaching out to the guys that are like-minded, that are not just doing jiu-jitsu to try and get a check, but doing jiu-jitsu because it's a sport and you love it. And you want the kids to grow up and continue to do what we're doing and share the art.
I think this is the overall general American mentality.
Yeah.
I feel it's a big, heavy European mentality, and I think that everybody wants to generally get better and cross-train and this kind of thing. But we're coming out of decades of heavy team loyalty, and only team loyalty only. Having wrestling in our culture and MMA, you look at wrestling culture, they're gonna, dad's gonna take his wrestling son and go wrestle with these kids because they're good, and they're these kids because they're this good. Hey, your son's good. Can we get some mat time in? And I think that networking and that mentality has been there. Even I use the word networking because I feel like Americans network a lot more in our business model. As I travel the world, I realize that other countries have different ways that they conduct business.
Oh yeah.
And the different ways that so the American mentality is a networking mentality. Let's collaborate, not hate. It's like you and I can both do something to help each other make money. And also in the sports sense, you got a great half guard, I got great leg locks.
Yep.
Let's cross-train that way. And it doesn't have to be necessarily the same team or same coach and that kind of stuff. So I think that's kind of what I see separating the American mentality from other people.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the loyalty team stuff like you're talking about, man, a lot of that, hey, I need to keep my stuff to myself, was during an age where we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have where we can just go ahead and upload live and just watch it over and over and over. Now that everything's out there, what you doing isn't really that great. I can.
Or hidden.
Exactly. You're not hiding nothing. You don't have no secret sauce. Your secret sauce is your character. It's how you come across to the people that you're teaching and training. If you can't come across as somebody that knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about, and actually can reach each individual person and not look at everybody as a whole, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? What's the purpose? You're not hiding anything with your jiu-jitsu. It's how are you teaching the structure of that jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, structure's huge. I think that's something that we've taken with jiu-jitsu and really morphed it with as Americans. We're heavy structure, system-based, and really trying to speed up the transfer of knowledge.
Yeah.
Whether it's from coach to student that way, or it's just like the positional fighting that we're dealing with now these days, and how we positional fight in certain positions. I watched it over the decades, starting in the 90s.
Yeah.
I've seen it more of just the training, And the fight, in my opinion, has left a lot of people as well too in the jiu-jitsu. Well, now it's jiu-jitsu to be jiu-jitsu. It's not, when I first started learning triangles, it was like block and punch, getting wrist controls.
Yeah.
It wasn't like feet on the biceps going on. You know what I mean? It wasn't shooting triangles or belly heel and spider guard. So that now people even sell it different. Like you got gi, you got no gi, and if you want to learn how to fight, there's MMA class. So a jits used to be about the fight before. And some people still teach like that, but I'm just saying, as I travel and I see how it's kind of expanding, and it can become a sport.
Yeah, and we kind of hit on that yesterday when we kind of were talking, and with the heavy wrestling culture that we have here in the U.S., and then the wrestling and sambo you have over in like Russia and Kazakhstan, you see those two coming into jiu-jitsu and just blowing through, traditional jiu-jitsu guys that are not
and MMA.
Exactly, because it's that constant grind and the movement, the switching of the hips, the takedowns, the aggressiveness, and it's all based on not using grips. You know what I mean? So when I'm able to grab you and grab onto something, hey, now I can be a little bit more aggressive with that. The traditional gi person isn't learning those wrap ups and how to drive and the pressure without the gi on. So as we were talking yesterday, to me, starting everybody off with no gi is what I feel is how you should start jiu-jitsu. Because if we're combating bullying and everything else, those kids ain't walking around with kimonos on.
Right.
All right. And
some people will make the argument that we're wearing clothes, though.
Yeah, but if your shirt rips, because it's a t-shirt.
I just wanted
it's summertime.
I just wanted you to say that.
It's summertime.
Disagree.
We can agree to disagree, but the thing is, I can grab that, but all of a sudden when it rips or you pull out of it, now you got just your skin. See what I'm saying?
100%.
You ain't sitting there with a button-up suit on. It's tied up and it's secured there. Now it's opened up. Now we can get grips. No, that's not how we playing. Plus, half of us are wearing t-shirts. Wear your sleeve grips.
And another thing that I mentioned is how many YouTubes, and you see all of these people holding phones to fights, right?
You see nobody grabbing.
And you see people, MMA kid gets in a fight, and they win, whatever, do their thing. How many times have you seen anything done with the clothing in those fights that get filmed today?
You don't, because we're not walking around in traditional Japanese dress.
Correct. And if that dude that even does do jiu-jitsu, you don't ever see him grabbing the clothes in the street fight.
No.
That dude's body locking and punching.
And then, but you look at the success of the kids that start out wrestling and learn how to grapple and use their body weight and pressure on the ground and movement, and then throw them in a gi, and now you tell them, hey, you can also grab now and apply everything else that you learned in wrestling and with this. Come on.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see a lot of these high-level wrestlers coming into the game and sweeping these black belts that's been doing traditional gi their whole life, and now they're moving into no gi and just getting murdered.
Well, I agree. It's a trip to watch, though.
Yeah? Yeah.
It's becoming a movement. I call it the Great Merge. The wrestling and jiu-jitsu has still got a little bit of ways to go, obviously, in the United States. And you always have people that are hardcore one or the other, but in general, I think that the wrestling culture is merging heavily right now, with the UFC being headquartered in the United States, with the media for jiu-jitsu being headquartered in the United States, and the highest level grapplers. I mean, Virgil, even like we talk about these MMA guys in Kazakhstan, well, they train at AKA in California. You know what I'm saying? So like all the highest level dudes end up coming to the United States from other countries in order to make a living. So we get their best too.
But you got to think, so also their rule set that makes them so proficient is you can't stall.
Yes.
You're not allowed to just sit there. You either get a 3 or a 5 second count, and if you're not, hey, you're back up. So those guys in Kazakhstan that's doing catch wrestling, that's doing sambo, you can't stall.
Yeah.
You can't sit there 3 minutes on your back just holding somebody like you could in an IBJJF tournament. not ragging on them, but we're talking about the explosiveness of those guys that's coming from there and doing the wrestling. Just like a pin. If I hold you down for 3 seconds or 5 seconds in a catch wrestling match, you're done. That's the tech. So those guys are trained to constantly be explosive, constantly move, constantly have body awareness. And that's why you see them getting out here and being able to stay afloat with these high-level grapplers that are black belts. And these guys are 15, 16, and never done jiu-jitsu in their life. All you got to do is teach them an armbar and a choke, and them dudes run through. That's it. Look at JR, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's gnarly, man. Watching these people progress so fast.
Yep.
The next generation is trippy. They're always today's good gray belts or 10 years ago was black belts.
Yeah.
You know, it's a trip. It's a trip. But I know we got more people to get to today.
Oh yeah, man.
You want to shout out any sponsors, IG, website, anything like that, whatever you want to, you can.
Man, hey, I don't really got no sponsors, but besides AGF, you know, they sponsor my daughter. She's a high-level athlete here. She's been competing since she was 7, man. So I do it for them now, man. I don't even do it for myself. I do it for the kids. You know, you see me running around, coaching and helping each one of these kids, and none of them ain't wearing Dreadnought patches or Carlos Machado patches, man. And the people out there know me, so they know I'm just here to spread the love of jiu-jitsu. That's it, man. So keep doing what you guys are doing for the community of jiu-jitsu and mainly the next generation of kids that's coming through. It's professional, man. It gives them more options. You know, they're able to do gi and no gi, multiple matches. So and then it's affordable. That's the biggest thing. It's affordable. So register early.
Yeah.
Register early.
Don't hit me up after registration and ask for a discount.
Yeah.
Just register early.
But other than that, man, hey, we enjoy it. I used to be heavy in the IBJJF tournaments, you know, and I haven't done one in years because, you know, I prefer these over those. You know, even Jiu-Jitsu World Leagues, I used to do those as well. It's just the kids have more options to get better, you know, and also the adults and everybody coming up. You just got more options. I don't see why more high-level guys aren't here, you know.
Well, like we said before, I think that some of the and then what we mean by high level, because we do have high level guys here, but we just
I'm talking
popular kids.
Yeah, the
right?
popular kids.
And I think that some of the popular kids are chasing the titles, and so it's time. I've been asked by people.
But what titles?
Asked people.
What titles?
So like you
the name.
Even some people today is like, yeah, man, we're done with this company, but we're going to Worlds and Pans. You know, like we're done. So like there is something in having titles. I respect that and I understand that. You know, and like we said before with the Nogi Nationals that we did, we were a little bit smaller, that kind of stuff. It's time to bring nationals back. Well, originally this was nationals, and we changed it to the U.S. Open because we were going to make gi and Nogi nationals rotate, and we were flying people. Remember back and forth between here and Europe, and the European champions flying over here. Just got done talking to Hamon about doing that in Brazil and offering to fly up Brazilian champion up to our nationals up here. So that's what we're going to get and see if we get some more titles for there's people who care about titles. So we think about giving them titles soon. You know, we just wanted to grow and do it right. We didn't want to be a small, quirky little event. And
y'all ain't small, man. Y'all come up with big numbers, though.
Yes, I know. But you know, we just still wanted to. We have big numbers in some areas.
Yeah.
We just moved into Poland. We just moved into certain countries like that where we're expanding over there, and so that means we'll get more international competitors for real world championships. You know, last year we had Brazilian kids. Some sisters come from Australia. We had Canadians. You know, I think that we would get a lot more if we advertise it, put it out there, and have those, you know, after we spread to more countries. We'll get more international competitors when we have more people, when they're in more countries. That's basically it, you know. So,
yeah, man. Hey, thanks for having me, man. This was fun.
Hustle. Go check him out. He's being super humble. His daughter whoops ass. His school, I started out with, said it was part of the World Championships and sitting on top of that podium. So go check out Dreadnought. Hit him up, hit his daughter up. Well, hit him up to ask to train with his daughter. Don't hit his daughter up.
Yeah, she just turned 15, man.
Super dangerous time. Don't hit his daughter up. So I got a 14-year-old. I feel you, man. And they start choosing at that point. Like we were talking earlier, you know, and she's dead serious about it, man. It's time to, you know, I want to be the best in the world talk. So kids start doing that, and dads start supporting it, and you got the right system. That's what you do. So
that's it.
We support you, support us. I appreciate you.
Oh, man, thanks.
Thanks for the time.
Oh, yeah.
This will be up soon.